Caribbean American News Media, your Tuesday night power hour. Live every Tuesday at 8:15 p.m. on Facebook, YouTube, and GVV TV channel 115. Join your host, Garfield Oliver, as he dives deep into the latest inclusion developments, regional affairs, and global issues that matter to you. From politics to the economy, community stories to international headlines, we cover it all with real talk and real insights. Stay informed, get the facts, be part of the conversation. Don't miss out. Set your reminders, share with your friends, and tune in. Caribbean American News Media, the news you report.
Bring you the most crucial information as it becomes available. Thank you for watching Caribbean American News Media.
Welcome to Caribbean American News Media. Let's get to work. I'm here to help.
Welcome to Caribbean American News Media, with me Garfield Oliver, the news you report. Let's get to work.
Stewards, I apologize. Very simple. Stewards,
That's
I
the way
apologize.
Whether I like the best is how you
Very simple.
to address it.
Stewards, I apologize.
I need to address it. It's not in my.
Very simple.
It's not in my.
Stewards, I apologize.
Past
And
the
you only
stage
have
where
to deal with
where I
me.
can address it.
Because I know.
But,
I know
it's
what's happening
up to
behind the
you.
scenes. I know.
In a season that we live in,
I
you
know.
can't even have a
All
joke
that
because
pretend
some talk
about
show hosts,
crime
maybe
and
on my
unspoken
case,
crime.
if I make a joke
know
with you,
what
you
happened behind
understand?
the
So I prefer not to see
That's what
how it should be.
I know.
But
Welcome to the Caribbean American News Media Show, your premier destination for in-depth coverage, engaging discussions, and entertaining segments showcasing the rich tapestry of Caribbean American culture. Join us as we explore a wide range of topics, from current events and community spotlights to arts, music, cuisine, and more. Our show features exclusive interviews with influencers, artists, community leaders, and everyday heroes who are making a difference in the Caribbean American community. Stay informed and inspired with our thought-provoking segments that highlight the diversity, resilience, and creativity within our community. Tune into the Caribbean American News Media Show for a captivating blend of news, entertainment, and storytelling that celebrates the Caribbean American experience. Get ready to discover new perspectives, celebrate successes, and connect with the heartbeat of the Caribbean American community. Don't miss a moment of the action. Stay tuned to Caribbean American News Media Show for an immersive viewing experience like no other. Hashtag Caribbean American News, hashtag show, hashtag cultural celebration. Welcome.
Well, a special good night to all our viewers here on Caribbean American News Media. It is a privilege to have you here. And again, it is Tuesday evening. It is 9 minutes past 8 in our studio, and I'm sure it is clocking in at the same time in your area of the woods. But greetings to all. Thank you so much for being here with Caribbean American News Media Platform. Please share it live and tag a friend. I just want to wish everyone a beautiful evening. And I am with you tonight, Garfield Oliver. I will be taking you through the evening as we discuss matters pertaining to you, matters that we believe are important to you. And also, I am going to be sharing my opinion on stuff. It is my opinion, of course, and I am hoping that that can be respected as my opinion. And then there are some hard facts folks, that we cannot get away from. But I want to wish every one of you a beautiful evening as you sit with your cup of tea or your water or whatever you are drinking, except for alcohol. We don't encourage alcohol on our set, so please, if you're drinking your alcohol, you better put that bottle down and get some good, nice water. Yes, keep your body in well hydrated, yeah? And let's get to work, folks. Let's get on to work. So there's a whole lot happening out there, and we will discuss it. So I'm going to give you some minutes to share the live and to tag a friend. If you look at your Facebook page and there is no Caribbean American news being shared on your platform, then you're not a supporter of the platform. You're not happy that we're here. And maybe we might just have to shut the ship down, of course, but please look at your platforms on your Facebook page and see if you really are interested in the Caribbean American news. Look at your page. If you do not see Caribbean American news on it, it means that you have not subscribed. It means that you've not been sharing the broadcast. But you got to share it. That's how we're going to get the word out that we are here. We are firing. I'll be right back in a minute.
Welcome to Caribbean American News Media. Let's get to work. I'm here to help.
Welcome to Caribbean American.
And yes, folks, I am here indeed to help. I'm going to make some adjustments here for a minute. Just bear with me, and we will be right back again.
With me, Garfield Oliver, the news you report. Let's get to work.
Welcome to Caribbean American News Media. Let's get to work. I'm here to help.
Welcome to Caribbean American News Media, with me, Garfield Oliver, the news you report. Let's get to work.
All right, so we are back. I just wanted to take care of a glitch that I saw in the system. Our system has been good to us for the past few months. It has been doing extremely well, and so we give God the praise for that. So I just want to I can't greet everybody on tonight like I did last week, but I want to again wish everyone a beautiful evening. Thank you so much for being here with us. I can see Elizabeth and Duncan and all the others coming in, and Lydia. I don't even need to see Lydia to know that Lydia is there, and my friends, my friend Laurencia. Even the trim so I'm praying now. I'll call Francis' name instead. Martin, sorry. But Laurencia even the trim so all right, I'm on high alert. Why is me? But the truth is, for the past 2 days I've had the cold. Of course, I work in a school environment, and ever so often you get the kids come in and they're all over you and they're coughing, and when they're sick, they want to be close to you. So I end up getting the cold from one of the student, but I am doing much better, of course. I've not been down, but you know how it is, a little coughing here and there, but when you say bagay la pou kwaze, all right, when you tout se we medla ici, na fesse we medla pa komwe. Yeah, man, I have everything here to beat it down, so I'm not even worried about that. But I'm still taking the time to be here with you because I have a commitment with you. I made that commitment with you that I'm going to be here talking to you, the people, and I really appreciate you coming here, and that's why I am here tonight. I could have stayed off, but I decided to come on to the platform. We have some work to do. All right, so again, share the live and tag a friend. I have some others who I need to be touching base with, calling back. I have some folks over on YouTube that I need to give a call back. I have some of you on YouTube. I've not been able to catch up, and I've had an emergency with one of the members, or a few of them, where I had to run out the house late on Sunday night for an emergency with one member had to run quickly out. So it's a lot of back and forth for me. And at this time, we're headed into the spring break at the school, so there's a lot of activities, a lot of stuff. So you got to bear with me, folks. Those of you who I need to call, you got to bear with me and don't jump to conclusion, all right? I am here with you. And when I'm not, you will know quickly that I am not with you. So let me get myself comfortable. See if the mic can get a little closer, because I really want the mic closer to me so that we can have some discussion. So let me just relax tonight, because as you know, I'm recovering from the cold, and I need to just relax myself as I speak to you, okay? I deliberately did that effect so that you will not see the glass on the system. But yes, so let's get into the business now. A lot of stuff have been swinging all around the place on social media. First of all, we have the discussion. Let me just go over to the United States and the war. That war is still on. It means that the long-term effects is going to be great. It's going to be big. It's going to cripple some countries that are not really prepared for what is taking place now. And we sympathize also with those who are the families of those who are losing their lives in this war. I mean, and again, it's all about ego and about the rich and the famous and those with power, feeling that they need to be killing and bombing and doing stuff to people in order for them to feel good. I think it's time for this war to stop. Not that I think it's going to stop or wars are going to stop. We've always had war. When you read the Bible, there's a whole lot of fighting and bloodshed documented in the Bible also, And sometimes even the Bible, I would say, was that necessary? Of course, but it is the Bible. But wars have always been there, especially the one up in Iraq there in Israel. Those wars are not new to humanity, but the effects of these things now, it has spread even broader in a lot of the finance of developing countries, developing states, that the poor people are the ones that always suffer, the poor ones. So what we heard in St. Lucia is that the Prime Minister hinted that there might be an increase in the gas price in the next few weeks. He's going to remove the cap. And that means from $16, it can go up, and God forbid that it hits $20 or even $19. That will be a serious problem for not only the government of St. Lucia, but for the people in the country, whether they're red, yellow, black, or white. People are going to feel it. There's something that I see happening in some of these countries, and I have a warning for St. Vincent and the Grenadines. There's a new government that just got in. That is Dr. Friday's administration. Ralph Gonsalves spent a very long time in government in that country. And I want to say to Vincentians and even supporters of the new Democratic Party, that's Dr. Friday's party, that they need to have patience. They need to bear patience with the government. They need to understand that there's a lot of stuff that cannot be undone overnight. It will take time. It will take wisdom. And I do not believe in just firing people. I do not believe that government, because I win, that I should just go in and start firing people, and because I thought that they did something or they support a government, that I just wipe them off. They're humans too. They need to survive. Their families need to survive. And therefore, we have to be very cautious And we got to also remember that we should do unto others as we would have them to do unto you. Your party might be in power now, tomorrow it can be in opposition. That's the reality of life. And therefore, what we want for our party, we should want it for the other party also. And that will make us civilized human beings, of course. So I see a lot of people want to push certain envelopes to allow court hearings to be overturned and this and all these kind of stories. Patient. Relax. You don't need to confuse the citizens who just voted, who knew exactly what they were voting for. They knew who they were voting out, and they knew who they were voting in and why. Majority of Vincentians voted on issues in the last elections. Not on excitement, not on rum, not on chicken, not on I love my party. These are real people who were going through real personal issues in the country. Each of these voters had a story, whether it's victimization, whether it's the COVID-19 management by Ralph Gonsalves, but most of the voters, majority, a large part of the voters went into the polls. Some of them went in angry. They went in remembering what, in their minds, their government did to them. They believed that their government was weaponized during COVID-19 against them. That's what they felt under the Ralph Gonsalves. They lost their jobs and lost their pensions, their benefits, and all these kind of things. So they reacted at the polls. They reacted on the polls. Unlike St. Lucia, the people was told that somebody's out to get them. And they believed that somebody was out to get them. They did not see the somebody getting them, of course, in some instance, but that's what they heard. They heard that their beach was being sold and given away, and nobody could have gone on the beaches, and all those things, and lands were given to foreigners, and they went in with those in mind. And there are some who had real issues with the UWP administration. They had their personal encounters, and so a whole different pool of people went to the polls in St. Lucia based on something, whether it's real, whether it's not real, whether it's just in their minds, in their heads, or whether it's just a government minister telling them, yeah, this person is out to get you, and they vote. But it was totally different in the last elections in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. These people went in with real scars from the Ralph administration. And so they thought that it was time for a change. So I'm going to ask the supporters in that country of the new Democratic Party to just take your time, understand the issues, and do not expect Mr. Friday to just go in and fire everybody. Government don't operate like that and should not operate like that. All right? So pray for your government and hope for the best. All right? Good. So we have a gas issue. And by the way, Grenada also removed some time ago, their gas cap. But we're hearing the government in St. Lucia saying, look, we're going to do it. We have to do it because we have already seen the forecast. We know when we're going to remove the cap. We know when we're going to increase the gas. It is not, we might. Based on what I'm hearing, based on what I'm seeing and reading, you, the citizens in the country, will experience some difficult road ahead for 2026. And therefore, you got to focus on not talking points, not on hate and anger. You got to focus on preparing yourself financially, mentally, and all kind of leads. Prepare yourself and your family for what is to hit your shelves, your gas tanks, what is going to hit you. All right? It is just a matter of when at this time, but it is going to happen, and you want steady hand, because in times of crisis, leadership matters. Now, you would have the controversy or the pettiness of the government of St. Lucia at the last House sitting again with the opposition leader, Mr. Alan Chastney. And it appears that, based on my assessment, of course, and this is my opinion, it seems to me that this was a plan. This was something that was planned, that if the opposition leader don't speak at a certain time, that we're going to just close the debate. That's what I saw. Full stop. Now, the government of St. Lucia, they have the majority. They just came out of an elections and the people voted them in. The people voted in Mr. Chastney also, together with them. That's a fact. They voted for the opposition leader, Honorable Alan Chastney. He is the duly appointed opposition leader of the country. And I see absolutely nothing wrong with the government saying, okay, if you want to speak last, then it's not going to take anything from us. We can put you last, or we can put you second to last, and the Prime Minister will do the closing remarks. But you can speak here. Ain't no problem with you speaking here. It's about 16 of us, whatever it is, or 15 of us. You can speak there, no problem. Let's not create any big war about it. But the kind of pettiness and childishness and the amount of time that is used to chastise and to belittle not only the opposition leader, but the people that the opposition leader represents. I heard Champagne, that is Felix de Tourville, this week asking a question. And I'm not attacking him. He's entitled to speak in a free country, just like I can speak here in a free country. And he said something to the effect that, who does the opposition speak for or represent? The people voted for the St. Lucia Labour Party. Who is the opposition leader speaking for? And I find that was uninformed, of course. Very uninformed, and confusing at some point for me, because the opposition leader represents 30-something thousand St. Lucians who voted for the United Workers' Party. 30-somethings. So he's asking, who is the one opposition leader representing? He is the voice of 30-something thousand St. Lucians. Those are the figures of St. Lucian voters who voted for the opposition party. So that's the answer to the question, who is he speaking for? Or who are the senators? Now, there's a big problem with senators in the country. Why? Because at the last Senate sitting, the opposition presented a very strong argument. They were unified, they were very strong in their presentations, and it seems as though they had the leader of government business struggling to keep up with her presentation. Sometimes you'd hear her saying, Mr. President, he have to apologize, he got to take it back, and constantly you would get that type. realize that shows you that you have someone on the fence. They're trying to keep up with what is happening. As soon as that sitting was done, all you hear it now is, oh yeah, they brought 3 or 4 people that was rejected by the people of St. Lucia. Hey, hold your horses a minute. Because on your side, you have individuals who were rejected also. And not only individuals, you have Haraxin from Miku that was rejected by the people, and they give their support to the opposition leader. So on the government side, you have if you want to use the word, a candidate that was not accepted by the people of St. Lucia, then you can use that word. But she sits there as a government senator. So is it that you two who are complaining about the UWP's senators, is it that you two feel that you are imposing someone that the people did not accept, that you presented and put a lot of money up there in his constituency? Even was late in paying for the electricity at the office. I was right there in that community, in the office. So what is it? Gideon Ferdinand, the guy before, who was the leader of government business, also was not accepted by the citizens of the country. You had him there not only as a senator, but as leader of government business. So were you forcing him on the citizens? I don't think so. If Gideon Ferdinand and Haraxin are good St. Lucians who just want to serve their country, I have no problem with them using their talents and abilities to strengthen the government or to strengthen the nation. Same way, I see no problem with Tommy and Dominic and Mr. Preville being there as opposition senators. They were within the Constitution. They were not doing anything illegal. They were sworn in by the state as senators. So for the government now to say, oh yeah, three rejects, the people voted against them, and you're pushing them on the people, let's go back in history. History will prove that you, the SLPs, have done the very same thing that you're complaining about. And this is the real definition of hypocrisy. This is a real definition of hypocrisy, if you're looking for one at all. So while you're complaining, then you were doing the very same thing. And that's what it leads to. One sinner condemning another sinner, because the sinner sinned just a little different than you, the sinner. And there's something that I'm observing. We're heading into a crisis. Government is spending their time on petty stuff. Who is senator? Once the senators are duly appointed and it is within the Constitution, move on. Stop talking. There's not a problem there to talk about. There's a water crisis. There's a crime crisis. There's a gas crisis that is looming. There is high inflation, and all those that are coming, that is going to hit, there's a housing crisis. We still have not achieved alternative energy in the country. So instead of dealing with things that are not a problem, like the senators who are St. Lucians, and by the way, who can put back their names to become candidates again. By the way, any of them can be political leader of the United Workers' Party at some point. Any of them can become Prime Minister of St. Lucia. I believe so on either side. There are people who are sitting there that can become great leaders in the country. So we do not have a problem with senators on the opposition side. That's a non-discussion. It's just waste of time. And then another set of waste of time on who should speak when. And then you treating a 60-something-year-old man, opposition leader, who served as prime minister in the country. You're treating him like he's an animal, like he should just get off the face of the earth. You call him a bully, you call him wanting vindictive, all because he's saying, I want to speak here. Allow me to speak here. I want to rebut. I want to have a greater input in the debate on finance. This is a record-breaking amount of monies that you guys are borrowing. Let's have a conversation. And instead of wanting to have the conversation, you choose to close the debate. Instead of the Mr. Healy accounting for the CIP and updating St. Lucians on the many challenges that the program faces on the world stage, he shuts his mouth and turns his dart at the opposition. Instead of Mr. Richard Frederick, who is the housing minister and local government minister, come forward and say to us, well, in this budget, we're happy that the Prime Minister has put in $20,000 or $20 million. We're going to be having maybe 10,000 new homes available or lots available for St. Lucians. That was not done. The focus was on the Honorable Alan Shasta, the opposition leader of the country. Whether you like it or not, he is the opposition leader. And right now, there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. So instead of the government accounting for the billions of dollars that are being spent and borrowed, instead of the government spending time assuring St. Lucians that we're going into a crisis and we don't want to come to you and say, well, something happened. Like the same SLP administration under Kenny Anthony told St. Lucians at some point, something happened. Instead of waiting to come to sit to St. Lucians, something happened. Here's an opportunity to say to them, something is about to happen. But we as a government, these are the things that we're putting in place to assist. Here are some of the measures as a government that we're putting in place. And whether we like it or not, this is the government of St. Lucia. Philip Japet is the Prime Minister. Whether you like it or not, that's what it is. These are the realities right now. Alan Shastner is the opposition leader. Philip Japet is the Prime Minister. That's what it's going to be until something changes. So we have no argument there. We also have a crisis that have cast its shadow. Common events, remember, cast its shadows. Here's a situation where shadows are being cast. And all we're hearing is not us, it's them. After 4 years, almost 5 years, it is still not us, it's them. And what I discover with some supporters is that it's like they're in a chance, a daze. They're like, yeah, good. Yeah, man, you should borrow more. Yeah, this is good. Yeah, I love it. Government doing fine. Yeah, my government is working. Yes, good. They don't have water in their pipes, some of them. Some of them having difficulties just getting food in their homes. Yeah, government. Yeah, government is working. Yeah. 16-1. Yeah, 16-1. Yeah. And though they want to cry out when they go to the hospital, when they get there, even though they have to get their deposit in place, they still chant 16-1 and 16-0 soon. While we have major concerns that can impact their very families. And it seems to me, friends, that the people are living in a conundrum, in an environment of mirages, where what you see is not what you see. That is, and it has happened in history, folks. This is exactly, it happened in Sodom and Gomorrah. It happened with the Israelites coming out of Egypt. People will say to them, look, here's a better place. Here's a better land. We're going to a better land. And they complained. A man was sent to rescue them from bondage, to get them out from under hardship. And they said, oh, yeah, you bring us over here to kill us. We want a different leader. We don't want this one. And guess what? Many of them lost their lives, never made it into the promised land. Nothing new under the sun. All I'm saying, friends, people sometimes get blinded by colors and glares that they fail to understand or realize that there is a crisis and that they need to spend their time dealing with the crisis. So right now, St. Lucia is not about Alan Shastney, it's about Philip J. Pear, who is the Prime Minister. We want to hear all our government ministers speak. We have not heard, I have not seen a press conference up to this day with Alva Baptiste, who is the External Affairs Minister. We have had major crisis, major restrictions on the world stage, and we have not heard one press conference from this man. And I would love somebody to correct me if I am wrong. I am subject to correction. I'm not here to bash anyone. Observation, my observation. I don't want you Labour Party people to get mad. This is no need. We're having a conversation, of course. Let's have a conversation. Let's reason together. No need to get angry. So I've not heard him, the External Affairs Minister, on any major developments that we have heard of. Not heard him. I've not heard one ambassador. I've not heard it, friends. Crime Prevention Minister and conflict management, it seems that there is more conflict that are not getting management. Women fighting with each other, this one boxing each other. I saw two Labour Party guy with the wristband on them fighting, harassing another one, fighting each other in the street. It seems like we have more conflict under our conflict resolution minister. People are just angry. People are just laughing while people get punched in the face. People are celebrating in the streets. People are being shot. And we believe that because my government is in power, then, oh, yeah, fine. Civil society and all these groups are not speaking up. Groups that were once outspoken. Pastors and churches have gone mute, silent. I heard some got monies in some areas from some of the politicians. Have gone silent. They have been muted. They can't speak. They're like dumb dogs now. Now, if the watchdog can't back, what do you think is going to happen? And these groups are important, including the press. The press sits there and just laugh when the Prime Minister go on with his clown show. Just laugh. There's another guy working with the government who was a former journalist, sits there and just act like a king and asked about the opposition being quasi at the polls and in a government environment. And the press sits there and chuckles and smiles and no follow-up question. You ask the Prime Minister one question and he dodges it or he goes around, and then you just pass the mic to someone else. It's like someone just texts you a question, ask him this, ask him this. You don't even understand the question. You don't even know what the follow-up question should be. You don't even know the topic that you're questioning the Prime Minister about. It seems to me, based on what I'm seeing, that someone maybe writes you a set of questions or texts you the questions, and all you do is just read or repeat verbatim the questions. And because it is not within you, you're not prepared mentally for it, you don't understand what you're asking, the Prime Minister take you for a ride, and then you pass the mic because you don't know how to follow up. You don't know some of the issues. You're not acquainted with some of those issues that these countries face. And a strong press is important for the democracy and for checks and balances. Civil society. Not a civil society as choir members singing from the same songbook, "It is well with my soul," while you're going straight to hell. So, I know I had a long rant. So, Mr. Healy made a statement today concerning properties that was sold. And he said it wasn't us, it was them. Let me just, and these are my observations, and I'm going to share it with you. And I believe it's the Marriott project at VG Beach. So remember, the residents were complaining that, they don't want it there. It's going to be a problem for them. And so some St. Lucians are saying, look, we need our beach. We need access to the beach. We should have access to the beach, of course. Rightfully so, St. Lucians show concerns for the beach because we've had a long history of hoteliers coming in and taking the beach as their private property, and then security guards are running you down like Santa Claus is coming to town and block you. You can't go to have access to the beach. And if you do want to get to the beach, you have to go over a cliff and your life is at risk. Or you have to take longer paths to get to that beach because the hotel has taken and put out their benches and their stuff, and you are not allowed to go on those beaches. So let's listen to Mr. Healy on the VG Beach project.
Purchase and other related transactions occurred at a time when the SLP government was not in office. However, he assured that the property is properly zoned for tourism and all legal processes were followed.
I know one of the challenges the designers had, because we raised it very early. They purchased the land, and it was not purchased under the Labour Party. Let me repeat that. The land was not purchased under the St. Lucia Labour Party. The land was sold to the developers under the United Workers' Party.
So, I don't understand what Mr. Healy was trying to do. The opposition United Workers' Party lost the elections twice. Mr. Healy sees it fit to continue the mantra of this government is not us, is them. And that's what we get it now. A lot. It's not us, it's them. The dam at Roseau, water project in St. Lucia is not us, is them. Gas price is not us, is them. The road, it is not us, is them. CIP is not us, is them. Police is not us, is them. Halls of Justice, not us, is them. The property over there, Orange Grove, not us, is them. The airport in Viewfort, not us, is them. Viewfort underdeveloped, not us, is them. Reverend, at some point, we got to understand what is happening here. After 4 years, there is no not us, is them. The buck stops with you as a government. And I hope I make sense here tonight, folks. And we're just going as easy as the wind blows tonight, of course. But aren't you not tired of the it is not us, is them? And I don't want you to rebrand this government as not us, is them government. Because every crisis, the housing crisis, not us, is them. Everything, the Rosalie Highway, not us, them. Every project in the country, it is not us, is them. And this is normal, by the way, for some of you St. Lucians. You think this is normal behavior, which you would not accept from your own kids, your own children. Can't tell you is not them, is not me, is them. I don't do my homework, is not me, mommy, is them. Huh? They cuss the neighbor, is not me, is them. Somebody make me do it. You got to take some responsibility. You got to be accountable. You got to take charge. Be responsible. So, the VG Beach project is the project, as far as I'm concerned, of this SLP government administration. They are the government of the day, not the UWP. If the lands were sold under the UWP, this is not a project that is being promoted by the UWP. It's a project that was presented to us by you, Mr. Hilaire. You guys told us that a massive hotel is going up there and that all the approvals have, in principle, there is some advance approval that was given for this project. This is your project that you boast about. You said that the Alan Chastney administration never built one hotel. But you are saying this hotel actually was theirs. This Marriott hotel was their deal. That's what you're saying to us now. So which is it? Did the Alan Chastney administration did not build hotel? There were no attempts to build hotel. There was no approval to build hotels. Or is this one of theirs based on what you're saying? I'm a little confused, but let's listen a little more.
Of building a hotel. You get me? It was sold under the United Workers' Party with the express purposes of building a hotel there. Of course, we inherited, so we have to deal with it.
And you know why Hilaire is now trying to throw some shades at the United Workers' Party on this project? It is because the residents and the people are speaking about it. It is because St. Lucians are protesting, in other words. They are speaking up. They are saying, I don't think this is a good project for this area. So because of that, all of a sudden, the same government, the same Hilaire who said, not one hotel that was built under Alan Chastney. Not one hotel was built under UWP. Now there's a different music, of course, being sung, and they're saying, no, it's not us. Y'all keeping noise about the hotel, but it's not us. The land was sold by them for a hotel development. I'm just trying to make things make sense right now. And I'm having a very hard time with my sickness, my flu-like symptoms. I'm having a very hard time trying to figure this out. So there's a share hotel now between Alan Shastney, UWP, and SLP based on what Hilaire is saying. They started it, and we just have to finish it, of course.
Sale of the land included the King's Chain.
Regarding concerns about the scale of the development, Dr. Hill explained the decision behind it.
The designers designed a hotel that virtually occupied all the lands that they bought. And we had to point out to them, you cannot occupy the King's Chain, you cannot go so far because St. Lucia needs access to the beaches. We said so to them. And they were not even really aware. They thought they had bought all this land, it was sold to them, and they were going to build a nice low-rise hotel. So we told them you have to...
So hold a minute, there's some confusion here. So he said that the people thought that they had bought all these lands. You just said it was sold under the United Workers' Party. And now you're saying the investors thought that they had bought all these lands. Because, let me just make it clear, Marriott itself, International, don't come in and build a hotel. They don't buy lands to build any hotel. Yeah? You know that, right? What they do is sell brands. So some investor will purchase the branding, and they will come in and they will do their some investors, whether local or international, will come in with a franchise of the hotel. Yeah? So how in the world an investor in a brand like the Marriott would come into St. Lucia, buy some land that they never saw, and when they're ready to build, they think that they had more lands? I honestly don't understand this confusion. And it seems like this confusion is only in the mind of Mr. Hilaire. Because there's a process in buying land in St. Lucia, as far as I know. There are a whole lot of organizations and lawyers that are involved, and surveyors that are involved in the purchasing of land. There are also laws that does not permit certain lands and properties to be sold. Properties or lands or areas like the seabed or the water, the beach area. There is no beach area in St. Lucia that has ever been sold to any hotel investors. It's just against the local laws. So when those guys went up to Grosley for Cabot and they say to you, Jack don't want me to bathe on the beach, Jack did not own the beach. Anybody could have gone on the beach. And if there was an access problem on the beach, then the authorities that are empowered in the country to protect these assets should have stepped in. So in other words, when they were protesting on the beach for Maggie, her name is, I believe, saying that Jack didn't want them on the beach, they should have been protesting against the organizations that are empowered to protect the king or the queen's property. But what I found out, the same people who were tasked constitutionally to protect that beach area, they themselves were in the protests, protesting that some fairy tale Jack in the sky did not want them to bathe on the beach. Jack Beach's mind. Anyway, let's just go back to Mr. Healy, of course.
Them, and they were going to build a nice low-rise hotel. So we told them you have to move it backwards. So they move it backwards by about 100 feet. And therefore, what they did to be able to keep the same number of rooms, they went higher. So it's a smaller footprint, but a higher building. So now in building it higher, it's affecting a couple houses at the back. So you can understand now how the developers feel. Because you cannot now say to them, sorry, you cannot go so tall, you have to stay 2 stories, because a few houses at the back might be affected. Well, when they bought the land and they bought the King's Chain and they designed, nobody told them those things.
In acknowledging the...
So did he say when they bought the King's Chain? Did you hear something like that? When they bought the King's Chain. Did you hear that? We're going to play it over again, and I'm going to increase my volume so that I can hear what you are hearing in real time.
In acknowledging the proximity of the project to the George F.L. Charles Airport, Healy stated that the project has undergone review by the Development Control Authority and aviation officials, confirming that all height and safety requirements have been met. The minister also emphasized that environmental protections such as sewage treatment, water and the traffic management, and the marine safeguards are key parts of the approval process.
Issues were raised with issue of sewer, issue of generation of power, traffic management, all those issues, access to the beach. I mean, a lot of issues were raised. And we said to the designers, to go back, take all those matters into consideration, and come back again with responses to those questions raised by the public and residents. I'm going to wait to hear and see what the designers come back with.
His comments follow a statement from the developer who clarified that the site has a long history of hotel use and that the project includes a 150-room hotel and 58-unit apartment building. The developer says that...
All right, so we're going to go back a bit because there's something else I want to hear from Mr. Healy. Bring it back,
Authority and aviation officials, confirming that all height and safety requirements have been met. The minister also emphasized that environmental protections such as sewage treatment, water and the traffic management, and the marine...
All right, just bear with me, folks. There's something that I need to hear from the minister.
Sorry, you cannot go so tall. You have to stay 2 stories. Because a few houses at the back might be affected. Well, when they bought the land and they bought the King's Chain and they designed, nobody told them.
So, yes, you heard Mr. Healy said that they bought the King's Chain. Did you hear that? Okay, let's go back again.
So tall, you have to stay 2 stories. Because a few houses at the back might be affected. Well, when they bought the land and they bought the King's Chain and they designed, nobody told them those things.
So the question is, who did they bought the King's Chain from? And my question is, did the King of England sell the King's Chain to the developers or investors of this Marriott project? Did you hear the same thing, folks, that basically the UWP administration sold the King's chain. My question to Mr. Healy and the government of St. Lucia and legal minds, can the King's chain be sold? Can the King's chain be sold? And by the way, the few residents that are complaining are human beings, are property owners too, who should be protected also. And I do not believe in the interests of tourism development that St. Lucian should be disenfranchised, disrespected, because we want a hotel brand to go up somewhere. And this is a disrespect from slavery back then that we have accepted up to today. That it is just a few houses, it's just a few people, it's just a few black people, it's just a few Indian people, it's just a few white people, it's always just a few people complaining. A few taxi drivers, a few bus drivers. It's just 3 people, just a few opposition leader members complaining. It's always just a few. And we're hearing the same thing from this government minister. It is only just a few. Well, it could be one person that is being disenfranchised. It could be just one person that is being affected by development. That one person should be protected. And governments should do everything in their power to balance tourism development by protecting the locals. Is that true? Of course. I strongly believe it. And that's where consultation comes in. Meet with the residents. The developers meet with the residents. Talk to them. See if you can buy them out too. See if you can get a different arrangement so that you can protect them. Show them some respect. But you can't say as the investment minister, it's just a few people. Yeah, we heard the same thing. Just a few vendors. So bull lose them. Move them out. But no one said that Maji was just one person. No one said that, you know. We went out of our way to protect that one person. There is another one person, Marie, who need protection. But sadly, she was only one person. No lawyer volunteered to protect that woman. All the jacks on the beach, not one person came to this woman's rescue. And I'm happy the United Workers' Party did not show up. They did not go over to Maria to do exactly what the Labour Party did, because it would have become a political football. I'm happy that they stayed away. And they did not go there to eat and to drink and to say they're buying food to support her. Because Maji place, it was not short of visitors and finance and people to eat. Maria was not short of people coming to patronize her bar. That's not her problem. Her problem is legal protection, legal representation, getting the best deal or the best outcome in both interests, the hotel and the woman's business. A balance. But sadly, she was only one person. And it seems to me like she got run over by the many people. I want you to listen again to Mr. Healy.
Houses at the back might be affected. Well, when they bought the land and they bought the King's Chain and they designed, nobody told them those things.
In acknowledging
So the King's Chain, based on Mr. Hilaire, was sold. So early he set it up nicely. Oh, it's not us, it's the United Workers' Party. At the end, he's saying now, oh, when they sold the property, nobody was concerned basically about the few houses. When they bought the King's Chain, nobody was concerned. In other words, the UWPs were not concerned when they sold the King's Chain, by the way, which is illegal in St. Lucia and many other countries in the region. You don't sell waterfront. I want you to listen to this from my my AI device here for a minute.
Here's a clear factual breakdown of who owns or controls the seabed in St. Lucia, because there is a lot of confusion and political talk around this issue. Who owns the seabed in St. Lucia? Number one, the legal reality, most important. Under St. Lucia law and international law, the seabed belongs to the state government of St. Lucia. The Maritime Areas Act clearly states that St. Lucia has sovereign rights over the seabed and subsoil within its maritime zones. This includes territorial sea, exclusive economic zone EEZ, continental shelf. That means that the government owns and controls the seabed resources. No private person or foreign country owns it outright. What the government can do: even though the state owns the seabed, it can grant licenses or contracts to foreign companies or gas explorers, mining or research firms. These companies do not own the seabed. They only get rights to explore or extract resources. 3. The controversy. Why people say seabed was sold. There has been public concern over past agreements, especially involving oil exploration deals, e.g. Kenny Grinberg contracts, claims that foreign companies had large control rights. Some reports and commentary suggested foreign interests may have had major stakes or control in exploration rights. This led to public debate about whether the seabed was effectively given away. Important, these were contracts, licenses, not actual ownership transfer. Legally, ownership remained with St. Lucia. Number 4, international law beyond St. Lucia waters. Under the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, countries control seabed resources up to 200 nautical miles EEZ. Beyond that, the seabed is managed by the International Seabed Authority, based in Jamaica. Now 5, simple breakdown area, who owns it? Coastal seabed near shore, Government of St. Lucia. EEZ seabed up to 200 miles, Government of St. Lucia. Beyond 200 miles, international community via ISA. Companies working there only have licenses, not ownership.
Okay. So that takes me to another discussion on a seabed issue under the St. Lucia Labour Party that were of concern to the citizens of the country. Remember the Grindberg situation where you were told that your seabed was given away. A matter of fact, let me see if I can pull it up. Was given away for 58 years by the Kenny Anthony SLP administration. Deputy was Philip J. Pear, the present Prime Minister of the country. Remember all the back and forth with our seabeds being taken away from the people, and we have no rights to the minerals and the gas and whatever it is that might have been under the seabed. Do you remember that story? Do you remember 58 years given away to a company for mining, to get energy, oil, of course? And I believe that up to today, the seabed does not belong, or the government of St. Lucia has no rights right now or access to do any type of mining or drilling in the waters around them. Because the St. Lucia Labour Party went in to a 58 years agreement at the time with the Grindberg Company. No drama. Nobody is concerned about that, of course, but this was real. But what is not real is the sale of the king's chain. That sounds like a gimmick to me. If you ask me about the seabed, based on information reaching me, the seabed was leased for 58 years to a foreign company. And does not, St. Lucia right now cannot bring in another company unless that was settled in the courts, because I believe they were to pay $5 million to get it back, to break the contract that Kenny Anthony had with the gentleman. I believe, based on what I am seeing on my desk, is that at the time it was $5 million to break that contract. I don't know if it was broken. I don't know if that contract is no more. I don't know if we can bring in Shell or some other company to come in, and or Texaco, if there is a Texaco company, or Chevron to come in and do some searching. Let's see if we have oil. Let's see if we have gas in our water. I don't know if that's possible. But what I know is not possible is, one, the sale of the seabed, and two, the sale of the king's chain. It's against the law or the laws of St. Lucia. But let's go way back in time. Maybe we should go back to maybe 14 years ago or maybe 12 years ago. And let's see what we can come up with on the whole seabed issue under the St. Lucia Labour Party.
Foreign Affairs Minister Rufus Bousquet, who is also the Choiseul MP, spoke extensively on the Greenberg matter during the budget debate, not with a view to settling any vendetta according to him, but to raise the serious issues involved. Mr. Bousquet says thousands of square miles of St. Lucia's seabed has been leased away for 58 years, and the resulting remuneration is hardly what it should be. Mr. Bousquet says the former Prime Minister must address the matter not via an address to the nation, but by way of a press conference. In that forum, says Mr. Bousquet, Dr. Anthony will be able to entertain relevant questions from the media.
What is important now is for the former Prime Minister, Dr. Anthony, to not just simply come out there and address the issue as he has promised to do and has failed to do thus far. But I think what's most important is for him to subject himself to a press conference where the media can familiarize themselves with the issue and ask him the key questions that need to be asked and which he needs to answer on this matter. And I think this is what he needs to do, and not duck behind all the attempts that are being made to discredit me in a public forum.
As far as Mr. Bousquet is concerned, his statements in Parliament certainly stunned Dr. Anthony, and that he was expecting the SLP forces, as he put it, would come after him, doing everything within its power to discredit him. But the Foreign Affairs Minister says that's not going to happen. However, the bigger picture, according to Mr. Bousquet, is that the country has lost its seabed, which will cost at least $5 million to retrieve.
Something that we're not even positive that we can do. And the circumstances under which we lost the seabed and the minerals and anything else that lies under the sea within the territorial waters of St. Lucia is as a result of the actions of the former Prime Minister.
Mr. Bousquet says it is important for this question to be answered. He says it's a key issue that will affect St. Lucians for generations to come. For the DBS News World, I am Don Nicholas reporting.
And yes, my friends, that is or was a report from Don Nicholas. I believe it's about either 12 or 14 years, maybe 12 years ago. Huh? Who is he blaming? And by the way, these same fellas are in the same party now that he claimed gave away the seabeds, where the minerals or anything under there, we can't touch it. And I'm not even sure if we are allowed to take a conch shell from the seabed, if that is even legal, if we have been practicing stuff that are illegal over the years. Because if it is lease, can we take shells off the seabed? He said 58 years. He said the people of St. Lucia, we lost our seabed. Yeah. As the world turns, of course. As the world turns. But I want you to listen to something else. Something else.
Prime Minister Anthony has made it clear that the issues raised by the report on the town, village and rural councils will not just go away. And he has put parliamentarians in the former administration on notice that they need to begin to prepare to account for funds that were spent.
Those persons who received Taiwanese funds were not covered by the report have two options. They can come to the table gently and say, look, I received in all $6 million from the Taiwanese. This is how I spent the money. These are the checks. These are the list of persons whom I paid, and these are the amounts that I paid. Now, you can cooperate and come to the table gently.
Prime Minister Anthony states that the second option is to seek the sanction of the court and investigate all bank accounts held by some functionaries of the former UWP government.
The former parliamentarian of Grosley, Spider-Man 2 is one. The report is silent. Keith Mondesi in ancillary canneries, he too has not accounted. Guy Joseph in Castries Southeast has not accounted. Richard Frederick in Castries Central, no account yet. And the list goes on.
Dr. Anthony says there needs to be equity and balance in everything. He disclosed that in time, a forensic report will be released into the way the Taiwanese monies were spent by the former United Workers' Party administration. For the DBS News World, Jason Hollandseed reporting.
Thank you, Jason. That's another, I believe, DBS report. Now, this is Kenny Anthony trying to make them fellas pay. They got to account for the monies that the Taiwanese gave them. And he calls out the name. And by the way, all the names that he calls out, except for Guy Joseph, is in their camp right now. In his camp right now. But there was this great concern about our seabeds, but Kenny Anthony was dragging people to court left, right, and center because, oh no, don't call my name in that thing. Yeah, you guys are messing around with the whole Grindberg thing, and we'll take you all to court. All the people wanted was accountability from Kenny Anthony, but now he's asking for accountability from Stevenson King, who did not report for monies that he received. He said Guy Joseph, and he kept calling names. Keith Mondesi. Guess what? These are champions of the Labour Party now. As the world turns, friends, everything becomes brighter. Like the song says, I can see clearly. Now the rain is gone. All of the bad obstacles have disappeared. So once bad, now good. But Kenny Anthony wanted accountability for monies that he said was not accounted for. But at the time, the people of St. Lucia was asking Kenny Anthony, to account for the seabed, which, as I said, he was dragging people to court, one behind the other. And all they were saying to him was, we need answers. In other words, accountability. Early in the show, I told you, it is one sinner condemning another sinner. Yeah. One sinner can't account, but oh, that sinner wants another sinner to account. And as the world turns, the more things change, the more it remains the same. And there is absolutely nothing new under the sun. That which was is now. Nothing new, my friends, under the sun. Yeah? Let's go to another one. Another one, friends.
Housing Minister Richard Frederick says the lawsuit filed against him by Dr. Kenny Anthony concerns stickers posted on his vehicle regarding Dr. Anthony and the Greenberg affair. Mr. Frederick made it abundantly clear that he never in any way indicated that Dr. Anthony had received any money. However, Mr. Frederick stood by his statement that Dr. Anthony did sign an agreement stating that royalties be paid to the minister. Mr. Frederick views the lawsuit as an attempt by Dr. Anthony to silence him on the issue, but says he will not be intimidated.
I want to state categorically that I have never ever said in any place whatsoever that Dr. Kenny Anthony received any monies personally from this contractual arrangement. What I have always said and will continue to say, and cannot be silenced on as it remains a fact, is that Dr. Kenny Anthony signed an agreement which says that royalties should be paid to the minister.
Mr. Frederick went on to say that Dr. Anthony has a history of litigation in an attempt to silence anyone who dares to speak against him.
Dr. Anthony is noted for being extremely litigious, as he has sued me before. He sued Dr. Von Lewis, and he has threatened the likes of Ras Iper, Ian Cauldron, and Angel Brett. He now sues me again. He passed the notorious Section 361 and even referred to Timothy Polio as a media terrorist. All of these he has done in an effort of shutting up anyone who dares to criticize him, whilst himself and his hacks proceed on launching vicious attacks on his opponent's reputation, whether it be on political platforms, radio, television, Facebook, or other electronic or print media.
The minister also said that his colleague Guy Mears also received a lawsuit from political rival Philip J. Pierre concerning a retaining wall near Mr. Pierre's home. For the DBS News World, I am Don Nicholas reporting.
Thank you, Don Nicholas, for such
That's a very good question. But what I like the best is how you intend to address it. Intending to address it is not in my it's not in my past the stage where I can address it. But it's up to
folks, all these old clips are just ducking the air out of me, to tell you the truth, because things are making more sense now as you go back and you come forward. You understand that you can be good today and bad tomorrow. You can be the best politician today and the worst tomorrow. It depends on what side you're on. So first we found out that you know, not so fast, Kenny. How come you sign an agreement for the seabed, but royalties must be paid to a minister? You know, my question would be, who was that minister, of course, that the royalty was assigned to? I thought was, and if you're going to be played with the king's chain or the queen's chain at the time, that everything would have been channeled through the government, who is the protector of the king's or the queen's business. So how is it one minister and all of a sudden the St. Lucia Labour Party is the best thing after sliced bread and the United Workers Party is the worst, corrupt, everything in the country that went wrong was the United Workers Party? Now you would only believe that, and there are also the UWPs who are beginning to believe this garbage. But if only you would go back in history, and maybe I should have an entire show on just going way back in times. Some of the old arguments from the same players now who are saying something different. Maybe we should have a show just going way back. Call it oldie goldies. As the world turns or spin, that spin, new spin, tingaling, all kind of spins as the world spins.
That's a very good question. Whatever I like the best is how we intend to address.
And maybe new spin also. As everything spins, maybe we need to just go back and have a rendezvous with the old ghost of politics past and come forward and listen what the same players are saying now. And I'm sure the question would be at some point, were you lying to us, buddy? Or sissy? Or auntie? Or cousin? Or uncle? Were you really lying to us? Wink, wink. Are these guys really good now? Wink, wink. In other words, is it true that the United Workers Party has been the worst political party for St. Lucia? They have been involved in all the corruption and the bauble, and we, the Labour Party, we have been so good to St. Lucia. We have been the Pope and the pastors and the elders of St. Lucia. We have been so nice to St. Lucia. We have not done anything wrong, not me, huh? No. But guess what? The same players who accused you guys of nastiness are sitting in your camp pointing at nastiness in the United Workers Party. Isn't the world a strange place to be at this time? All that glitters is not gold. Some of you have forgotten the past, and you are believing lies like, let me pull it up again, that the Queen, the King's chain was sold to Marriott. Huh? Let me just see if I can pull something up here. Let's look at land transactions in St. Lucia for a minute. And I just want to educate you, right? And that's what I'm doing. So please, don't feel bad. Those of you who are viewing, if you're SLPs, don't feel bad, because this is the truth. And you can do nothing but accept truth. You can't fight truth. So for you to fight truth and say, hey, he's a big head, he's a foreigner, and he's a voler, and he's a this, that's not important now. You can have your time for rants and to call me names and everything else, but not now, not so fast. Let's deal with the substantial matter before us. Don't be distracted. This is not your regular press conference that turns out sometimes to be a clown show. That's not what this is. So let's stick to the script, all right? You can clown all you want when I'm done, but not now. This space, special space, all right? So here we go. So let's look at land transactions. The land, the government, developer. Then developer, Marriott branded hotel project. 3. Beach ownership remains public. Even with the hotel, the King's Chain law protects public access. 2. Beaches in St. Lucia cannot legally be sold privately. I'm going to say this again. Beaches cannot be legally sold in St. Lucia. So let's say, based on what Hilaire is saying, that the King's Chain was sold, it means that someone would have done a bobble, and the bobble would have to be done between the surveyors, DCA, the developers, some government ministers, some other lower staffs. A whole lot of people got to be involved in this massive bobble to sell the crown off of the king's head in broad daylight, of course. And the developers have no common sense, based on what Eli is saying, that they thought they were getting so much land. They were getting the sea, the beach, they were getting everything. So much land they were getting under this former administration. The King's Chain was sold. Well, the King's Crown, it seems. So we'll have to bring in Inspector Gadget, of course. But as if we can find Mr. Inspector Gadget, because the King's Crown was sold off of his head right there in St. Lucia at VG Beach. But not so fast. Maybe we should flush that thought. Maybe we should flush it for a moment. Flush that thought. That thought makes absolutely no sense. I am flushing my own thoughts, because if I am thinking that the King's Crown was stolen in broad daylight right there at VG, then something is wrong with me. And if you believe it, of course, any one of my viewers, if you believe that, something is wrong with you too. It means that your entire country is corrupt. It means that every institution in your country has been compromised to the point where the King's Chain and his crown could have been sold to a developer. And nobody saw that. Nobody saw that heist. So one, we know that the King's Chain cannot be sold by anyone. Not even the hackers in India who rips off millions of dollars a year from innocent people. Not even them can sell the King's Chain. But somebody, based on what I'm hearing here, someone sold it off in St. Lucia. So who sold the land? Based on what the minister is saying, the United Workers' Party sold the land. And for the United Workers' Party to sold the land, it would mean that that land was government land. It was government property. Or if he's saying that it was sold during the Alan Shasta's administration or the UWP administration, then it could mean that it was a local individual who sold some family lands, or some local business that once owned the properties there, sold it to the developer, but it was under the watch of the United Workers' Party. So two things can happen. Who bought it? We know a private developer. Why? Because Marriott does not buy or sell these things directly. Good. Who operates the hotel? Most likely a Marriott branded operator. Franchise, KFC. You ever heard of that? Let me pull something else here I want to share with you. So the minister said it's not us. It's not the SLP, it's the UWP. But I want to ask Mr. Healy, who leased for 58 years the seabed? Was it the UWP or was it the SLP? Seeing that you're going down the blaming game, is not me, it's them. I'm just asking you. The real king's chain, the bottom of the chain, in other words, the bottom of the sea, who leased that seabed for 58 years? Who was it? Question. You started the blaming game, of course, so maybe we can go back in history. And maybe someone can say, well, it's not us, it's you all, it's not us. So, listen to what the law says in St. Lucia, and we're going to be closing soon. In St. Lucia, all beaches are public property. The coastline, especially up to the high water mark, is owned by the state. Up to the high water mark, it is owned by the state. And by the way, here is another scenario. Let's say, for instance, the UWP sold the Queen's crown and the chain to Marriott branded developer. Does not the state have power to take that property back? And my question is, if what you said, Mr. Hilaire, is true, did you and your government throughout the 4 years try to get back the king's crown and his chain that was illegally sold? And did you take anyone to court so that they can pay for selling the king's chain? And by the way, you know who you will have to arrest, Mr. Hilaire? DCA, the registrar, the registry of land deeds and sales people, government again. So you thought that when you say to the people that it is the UWP government, that you think that they would go and arrest Mr. Chastain and Guy Joseph because they are the two who sold the king's chain, right? You thought that's how it happens. Again, when we do not inform the people of the country, then we develop a bunch of ignorant, uninformed people who believe our whole set of garbage. So in other words, if you're saying that the property was sold, the king chain was sold at VG, you got to start going into the DCA, going into land registry and start arresting some people there. Because one, the people at the register of lands in the country should be able to say, stop. We cannot register this sale of land or give you a deed for this property because it is against the law for anyone to buy or to sell the beach. Now, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense for me. If you have control authorities and agencies, that even when a local St. Lucian try to get a piece of land, that they say to them, you can't buy this land or you can't occupy this land But a foreign investor comes in and you sell the seabed to him without any question, then it means that your whole country corrupt. If that is what you're saying. So I would think that you want to retract, you would want to correct your statement so that you can protect the integrity of the government. You can protect the integrity of these lower staffs and these agencies like the DCA and the Land Registry and lawyers who are involved in this sale. You might want to protect them by making another statement, by apologizing or clarifying, of course, what you try to tag on the United Workers' Party as selling the King's chain. No one prime minister can sell, Philip Chepe can sell VG Beach. You, Healer, can't sell it yourself because there are agencies, there are checks and balances, there are groups that are responsible for the King's chain and for the buying and selling of land in St. Lucia. And you have Buddy there who can just go to the registry and get the deeds of sale to see which land was sold, which King chain was sold. Buddy alone can do it all by himself. You too, Mr. Healer, can go to the land registry and come and tell us, show us what King's chain was sold. And if any King's chain was sold and any UWP minister sold it, I want you to arrest them. I want you to arrest whoever facilitated, the lawyer, arrest the person at the registry, arrest DCA, arrest all who need to be arrested, because you cannot sell the King's chain. So, this is protected under national law and reinforced by long-standing policy. So, no individual, no hotel, no foreign investor can legally own a beach. This is the law, these are the laws in St. Lucia. And I'm going to quote again. No individual, no hotel, no foreign investor can legally own a beach. So anywhere there is beach in St. Lucia, nobody but the state owns it. So anywhere you see a hotel blocking beach and putting the chairs and stopping you from bathing and running you down, their security running you off the beach, you can't go and sell some popcorn by the beach, take them to court. They are illegally harassing you in your country. And no one is protecting you. Nobody, not a soul is protecting you, the locals on the beach, the vendors, or the beach goers. No one is protecting you, but they are talking a whole sort of garbage around the place. No one is protecting you when security guards are running you off the beach. Who is protecting you? Because you don't know your laws. No one is telling you anything that your beaches are free for all. Who is telling you that? Are you being informed by a government that no beach can stop you from being on the beach? You can be on the sand. You can be in the water. No one can stop you. And if anyone tries to stop you, the law, the state should step in to ensure that you can go on the beach. As a matter of fact, the state should be patrolling all the beaches to ensure that the citizens have access to those beaches. And when hotels are building their properties close to the beach, they must or should provide access to the locals to get to those beaches. But you are minding other people's business and not your own business. And that's why you are on the beach in Grozile. The beach is mine, the beach is mine, the beach is mine. Who stopped you from Jab Beach being yours? Who was stopping you? Who? What were you doing on the beach? If Jab Beach was yours, who was stopping you? While you were on the same beach, you're protesting you can't be on the beach, while standing on the beach, protesting that you can't be on the beach. Sounds messed up, ain't it? You got caught, catch. You got bamboozled, hoodwinked, smocks. So, the question is, so why do resorts control beaches? I know, this is more confusing, right? Hotels and developers can own land next to the beach. They can lease nearby land from the government. Again, they can lease nearby land from the government. Remember they said that Chasney gave away lands to Cabot? Nothing so. Remember the DSH in Viewfort, they say Chasney gave away the lands. Government can lease land, especially when it comes to development. If the development is substantial enough that there's going to be a lot of employment, a lot of activities, then the government can say, okay, seeing that you're going to put in that type of money on the land, then we're going to allow you to lease it maybe for 100 years because the development that you're putting down, it is important to our people. It is important to our country. And therefore, we do the risk assessment and come to the conclusion that 50 years, 100 years, it's okay. I don't know what was done with the seabed for 58 years. But before I sign any agreement with seabed for you, you got to assure me that there is oil, there is something down there, and then we can sign. I can give you a temporary lease so that you can drill or you can look for the oil, and if you find it, then we can start talking long-term leases. Well, I don't know how you do it. I'm just one man talking, of course. So let's do this. So they can own the lands, they can lease thereby, and they can have control access points. So for instance, if the property that the hotel has close to the beach has no other access to the beach but on their property that they're leasing or they bought, then there must be what is called control access points. So you got to pass through security or some checks or whatever it is. You got to check in and head towards the beach. Because you have to get onto private property in order to get to the beach. There must be access. And it could be controlled access. Because some people do a lot of foolishness and disrespect the guests and harass the visitors to the country. So they do not own the beach itself. The public still has legal right to access it. Nobody can harass me if I go to the beach next to Sandals. Nobody can harass me. And some of the police don't know the laws, because if I'm getting harassed on the beach and I call the police and say, look, this person is harassing me, and the police ask me to move from the beach and want to drag me and lock me up, then we have a problem in the country. Is that true? Yes, of course. So here's the real issue with public complaints. Even though beaches are public, here are some of the complaints. Some resorts restrict access routes. Security may make people feel unwelcome. And you have a lot of ignorant security guards who also do not understand people's right. I don't know if security guards are trained, a certain way, where, especially with hotel securities and beach access, if they are told that the beaches are public. Locals sometimes feel beaches are private. Again, because of ignorance. This is a totally different issue. It is not legal ownership. No hotel, no business own any beach in the country. So even across the Caribbean, the Queen's or the King's chain cannot be sold. And it is not, nobody has no private beach. You're not a private beach. What private beach? It's a public beach. If our visitors can enjoy it, then our locals can enjoy it even more. So know your rights and don't let politicians bamboozle your cerveau to the point where you turn on each other. Know your rights, know your country, know what's right from wrong. So I would love for Mr. Hilaire to clarify this whole thing about King's Chain was sold to developer and developer didn't even know the amount of land they bought. You're saying that the developer is ignorant and should not be allowed to build any hotel in the country, because if you're so ignorant in buying lands that you know nothing about, then something is wrong with you. What you buy, jab in a sack? Back in the days, they would sell land in Florida, and people in New York would buy land, not realizing that the land is water land. You can't build nothing on it. Swamp land they were buying. That's what you're doing, buying swamp land. And when you go to the land, you're saying, but yeah, I can't even build a house, huh? But you're boasting all over Brooklyn that you have land in Florida. Have you ever seen it? Well, the developer bought lands in Solution, based on what Mr. Hilaire is saying. They thought they had a lot of land, but I'm going to read your comment, folks, and so long, bye-bye. So long, bye-bye, folks. I believe the phone lines are open, but let me see. I don't know if we want to take calls tonight, though. You guys, if somebody want to call, then let me see if I can open the line. Okay, let me see here. Oh, we get a lot of contacts there. Just bear with me. Okay. Somebody sent me something there from Antigua. Let me see here. Antigua, I got your stuff, so I will look at it when I am done. Okay, so leave the lines open, of course. Okay, so let me just read your comments, and then we shall say good night. Bernard says, only Marcellus Steele knows his rights. Oh, yeah, he was right. You can. The beaches are free. Hilaire, that's the problem. Just give them some rum and all will be with you. Lydia says, Pastor Garfield, thank you for explaining SLP are parrots. They must repeat what the slave master says. Jean Francis Hilaire has a PhD in... Okay. All right. True. No honesty from any one of them. Always lying, fake information, and money hungry. Yeah. Deborah says, drop it for the labor rights. I hope they educate and learn straight. Lydia says, Bax told them that. Somebody says somebody's the biggest lie. Kerwin says, whoa, you hit the nail on the right point. That's what I was thinking. And CIP out of alignment would come out and criticize the party from day one. Why is now the minister not... Okay, I tried to read that, but it's got... it's gone. Kenny sold near the Peter. Oh, I'm not sure. They versus Garfield. Educate, that's useless. Oh, there's somebody under there. Somebody was given trouble. Allison says George's Kenny Anthony was the one who did that. He and Huntley. Was Huntley the minister or a permanent representative to the country? We'll have to look back at those stories. I'm just looking at your chat, folks. Someone says, I cannot hear that man speak. Folks, the program, you will hear a lot of people you don't want to hear speak. The program is like that, you know? Yeah, you got to hear the people that you don't want to hear. Lucy says, Brother Garfield, you're working hard to get into the political archives. Someone says, now you are eating the same... I don't know. This is for a man to be a good leader, he must first be a leader at his home. Yeah, the Bible says that. The Bible did say that. Someone is saying, if anything is going on well, why all the noise? And someone said that I stole money from Brinks. Well, at least I didn't buy the King's chain or the Seabed. Huh? Makes sense. You could have arrested me if I bought it. If I did, with the stolen money, bought the Seabed. But stick with what you know for once and stop repeating stuff that might get you in trouble. Yeah? Stop doing it, man. All right? Anyway, so we're not going to spend a long time on messy conversations, of course. Okay, good. So what we're going to do, someone says on YouTube, pay the money you owe Garfield. Okay, so you see, this is what I'm saying, folks. Someone says the master is watching. Pay what you owe. So that person, if I owe you or the platform, you need to send me an invoice, send me whatever money you think that I'm owing you, and let's get it out of the way, all right? Anyone who thinks that I owe them, please reach out to us. 929-586-1821, and let us know what we owe you for. Is it music rights? It is appearance? What it is? Because we don't pay anyone to appear on this show, one, and we do not pay royalty. We share royalties with musicians on both of our platforms. But if you are under the platform and you think that we owe it, you, like someone said that I owe Brinks, basically I stole money from Brinks. So send an invoice. Let us know what we owe, how much money was stolen, so that we can pay it back. If you, I mean, come on, we are our brother's keeper. All right? So don't just go to bed tonight saying you volley and you have money for me. Please let me know. All right? Again, you can reach out at the number 929-586-1821 and share the invoice. All right? Because here at Caribbean American News, we maintain our integrity and our not stealing ness. In other words, our faithfulness to that which is right. Remember, it's equity, justice, and fairness for all. So please, send it. Someone says, Kali says, I expected that from a young person, but not someone like Ernest, who knows about river buffets and the Queen's Chain. Is it Rover Gates? Anyway, folks, we got to go. So it was nice being here with you again. It is a pleasure. But I'm serious. If any one of you think that I'm owing you guys or I stole your Brinks money or whatever it is, please send me the invoice. But one thing, if it's $2-3 million, I will have to sell the King's Chain and his bracelet and his golden slippers in order to pay you back, of course. But please, reach out to me. It's okay. You can always reach me at 929-586-1821. All right? Blessings to you, folks. This has been another beautiful, beautiful episode of Sound the Alarm. It's not Sound the Alarm. It is actually the news that you report. Nice being here with you folks. So long. Bye-bye.
Welcome to Caribbean American News Media. Let's get to work. I'm here to help.
Welcome to Caribbean American News Media, with me Garfield Oliver, the news you report. Let's get to work.
Welcome to Caribbean American News Media. Let's get to work. I'm here